Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the Barbie collection from the brand OPI. These are available right now. I ordered mine from Beyond Polish, which I don't usually do. I usually get mine from HB Beauty Bar, so I ordered it from Beyond Polish since HB Beauty Bar wasn't carrying them. So in the description box, I am going to link the Beyond Polish site, but I will say delivery took way longer than I expected it to. So I will link that down there, as well as my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video, and OPI's site and OPI's Instagram if you wanted to order it that way. So this collection only has 9 polishes, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we have Voyage To Reality, and this one is a very white based pink cream. It does have more of a crelly-like consistency to me, where it is still a little bit sheer on this first coat, but it is buildable. I did need 3 coats to get full coverage. It does have pretty good self-leveling properties. However, my nails are so rigid that it didn't make a ton of difference. If I was wearing a base coat, it probably would help tremendously, but I did need 3 full coats to get 100% coverage without a base coat. Also, excuse the fact that my hands are all cut up and my cuticles look like absolute garbage. It's going to be this way for a couple videos. I did have a lot of swatching to do and very little time to let my hands heal after the busyness that has been July for me. All that being said, this does have a very smooth application. I didn't have running, pulling, or staining. This also dries to a nice glossy finish all on its own. If you want your manicure to last though, I do still recommend going in for a top coat. It will help protect your manicure and give it that protection that it needs to last as long as possible. So there are 3 coats of Bon Voyage To Reality. Up next we have Best Day Ever, and this one is a pink frosted base with silver holographic glitter. This is easily, hands down, my least favorite formulas that have ever become in existence. So I was not a big fan of this. It does have very strong pineapples have peelings to vibes to it, but in pink. The formula itself is good. It just dries to this weird, like almost crispy looking consistency. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just not a big fan. It is going to dry with some texture because of this glitter. I also stopped at 2 coats. I really didn't want to go through putting a 3rd coat on, and I do have another polish like this in the collection, so I was kind of not wanting to play with it anymore. You'll want top coat, and removal will be difficult, but there are 2 coats of Best Day Ever. Next up we have Feel the Magic, and this one is a bubblegum pink cream. OPI comes out with these pretty regularly, so this formula is very solid. I did get full coverage in 2 coats, a nice even application. Even working with thinner coats and the ridges in my nails, I had no issues getting full coverage in 2. I had no running, no pulling, no staining, a nice plump glossy look once it's fully dried. I will say I have about 100 of these cool toned pink creams from OPI, but if you don't, this is a solid one to add to your collection. Like I said, I got full coverage in 2 coats. This one does dry a little bit darker. It feels a little bit more purple once it's fully dry than when it's wet, so bear that in mind, but I do think that happens with about 50% of nail polishes, so it's not unique to this polish and it's not the end of the world, but there are 2 coats. Up next we have Every Night is Girls Night, and this one is our other frosted finish of the collection. This one is more of a kind of silvery nude frosted base, but it does still have silver holographic, or it's not holographic, just silver glitter throughout. Again, I'm getting very strong pineapples have peelings to vibes. This one to me was less offensive than the last one, but I still didn't love it. You could use these as a topper if you didn't want to build them up on their own. but I did not. I built them up in 2 coats and was ready to move on. Just like the last one, this is glitter, so you're going to want some top coat to smooth this out and add some finishing touches, and removal will require some scrubbing. So there are 2 coats. Next up we have Hi Barbie, and this one is another cool toned pink cream, but it is more of a neon-ish. This is probably the top pick of the collection for me. It definitely goes with the Barbie theme in my opinion, and it did apply beautifully. I had pretty much full coverage here in 1 coat. If I was in a rush and had to throw 1 coat of something on, I could definitely get away with it on this one, but I did think 2 coats brought it full circle and made everything nice and complete. I also had no running, no pulling, or no staining. This one is another one that dried a little bit darker than when it was wet, so do bear that in mind. Also, this does dry nice and glossy, but if you want your manicure to last, I do recommend top coat. So there are 2 coats. Next up we have Welcome to Barbie Land. This one, it kind of leans red, it kind of leans pink, but then it does have this silver shimmer running throughout. I think it's like more of a pink shimmer, and that's why sometimes I'm reading pink, sometimes I'm reading red. But the formula is great. The shimmer in here is beautiful. It's kind of a larger particled shimmer, so I didn't have any kind of brush strokes through this when it was wet. Therefore, once it was dry, I had 0 issues with unevenness or brush strokes. A nice smooth application. It did self-level very beautifully. I got full coverage in 2 coats here. If you're super picky, you might opt to go in for a 3rd, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. It does dry relatively glossy all on its own. If you want that nice plump finished manicure look, excuse me, you still do want to go in for a top coat, and it will help keep your manicure lasting as well, and removal's easy. So there are 2 coats of Welcome to Barbie Land. Up next we have Hi Ken. This threw me for an absolute loop. I didn't expect this in a Barbie collection, but I am very pleased it's here. This is a bright sunshine yellow cream. Again, these kind of polishes really speak to my ridges in my nails, so it was a little bit uneven here. If I wore a base coat, it would be a little bit less offensive, but the formula itself is excellent. It is relatively opaque here on this first coat, but I am still going to go in for 3 coats for full coverage. If you use that base coat and you're a little bit less picky, maybe a little bit less heavy-handed, you could probably get this one in 2. It is very opaque. I also didn't have any kind of staining with this one. However, a base coat will help protect your staining with these more opaque yellows. Yellow pigment does have a tendency to cause staining. With these more opaque yellows, I would recommend it just to cover your bases and protect your nails. So here we go with that 3rd coat for 100% coverage. I do still recommend going in with a top coat, even though this one does dry nice and glossy. Again, it will protect your manicure. It will prevent any premature chipping, and it'll also give it that nice plump, fresh out of the salon look on your nails. So there are 3 coats of Hi Ken. So up next we have My Job is Beach, and this one is a brighter kind of robin's egg blue cream. This was very opaque here on this first coat. Not quite a 1-coater, but very, very close. I really appreciate the brightness of this. It's got like that rich quality, but then also feels very summer. It does remind me of a beach, and I think it's absolutely beautiful of a blue. Again, I'm not really sure. I haven't seen the Barbie movie yet, so I'm not really sure how it ties into the theme of Barbie having the blue, but I do really appreciate the brightness of it. I got full coverage in 2 coats. This one also dries to a glossy finish. A top coat will help protect your manicure. I had no running, pulling, or staining, but I would recommend with something this opaque using a base coat. So there are 2 coats of My Job is Beach. Lastly for today we have Yay Space, which I don't know why the name cracks me up. It makes me think of something probably Ken said that was kind of stupid, but this one is a very softly tinted blue base with a very strong blue shimmer. This is again that larger particle shimmer though, so I didn't have any kind of brush strokes through this, and almost kind of looks like it would be a glitter from a distance, but it's a large particle shimmer, and something about this really screams Christmas time to me, so I'm very excited to have this one in my collection. I did do 3 coats for full coverage. I was able to make out my nail line just a little bit after that 3rd coat, but the shimmer that's in here is so blinding that it would distract from anybody who would be able to see it. You will still want some top coat to finish this off. It is going to dry to a relatively glossy finish, but it doesn't look quite finished to me, if you know what I'm saying. But nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here will be difficult to remove. So there are 3 coats of Yay Space. And here's a look at the entire collection. I have some seriously mixed feelings about this. Pink is my absolute favorite nail polish color, and whenever I hear Barbie, I definitely think of pink. So to me, we really only got a couple polishes here that actually look like Barbie to me, but I can also see the bright yellow and the bright blue being kind of Barbie-ish, you know, like the Malibu and the beachy thing. Those frosted monstrosities, I just cannot get behind. I know they're for some people, they're definitely not for me, and I really hope that I never see another one again, and I hope that's not too harsh, but I just don't love them. I am a big fan of when OPI does the whites with a kiss of another color, so I do appreciate Voyage To Reality, where it's a white with just a very, very, very minor touch of pink. I think that's very cute. I think the bubblegum pink is cute. I think the brighter pink is cute. And I think the shimmery blue is going to be great for Christmas time. So overall, I really enjoy the collection. It doesn't necessarily scream Barbie to me, but there's a couple in here I could absolutely do without, and the rest I think are very nice. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know which favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.